If you are here, it's because you're interested in finding decks to help you climb to infinite, and I'm here to share the decks that I used on my climb to infinite in a hope to help you on your climb, help you use some off-meta decks or meta decks, but just decks that are fun to play that I enjoyed on my climb to infinite. In this video, I have 8 decks for you, including a bonus deck, so that's technically 9 that I've been playing post-infinite that I think could do well for you. In addition to those 8 decks, I also have 2 season passes to give away. Huge shout out to my members for making that happen. We're going to give those away. And one of those 8 decks that helped me climb to infinite, I genuinely cannot believe is on the list, but I'm really excited to share all of them with you, starting with the very first one, which is a deck that was very, very forced into this top list by sheer willpower of myself by just choosing to play it more than I probably should have. And it's this Kamala deck. I love, or I guess I should say Miss Marvel deck, or that's how she's known in the game. I love Kamala as a character. One of my favorites. In fact, this card, this is a silly reason, but I've talked about, here we go, already off into the weeds about variants. There's a cut somewhere in there that you are going to miss a story that I went off into the weeds telling the story that like 90% of the way through the story, I realized that maybe I was telling a lie. And so I double checked. I was telling you a lie, so you don't get to hear the story. Anyway, here's the deck that I forced myself to play. Makes it sound exaggerated. I wanted to play this deck. It is not the greatest deck. It's hard to win with, but I really love Miss Marvel as a character. Kamala is one of my favorite characters. This is one of my favorite variants in the entire game because this comic book cover, this is from a cover, was one of the first comic books I ever read, and it is also the reason that I fell in love with Kamala as a character. So I just have genuinely been waiting for this variant since I started playing the game, and it came into like the new upgraded token shop where you can get ultimate or spotlight variants a few weeks ago, and I had to get it. And then I just felt like I had to play a deck because of it, and I did really, really enjoy playing this deck. To give you the stats, I've played 30 games with it. I'm only at a 66% win rate and up 12 cubes. So not great stats, honestly. This is the one that I recommend you play the least. There's probably a superior version of this, like Colossus could probably be placed with something like Mercury to give you some more control over your opponent. I just like how Colossus allows you to get into tricky situations. It's also just like fun to play this version of the deck. Anyway, it's a pretty straightforward ongoing deck with a focus on Miss Marvel, and I really, really do enjoy it. You just want to play ongoing cards. Now that I think of it, another card that could replace Colossus, but you kind of want good curve with speed, so having another 2-drop in here is good, is Captain Carter. I've just found that Captain Carter with Moonstone goes crazy, so maybe Captain Carter might also be a good replacement for speed. But one of the unsung heroes of this deck is actually Howard the Duck, particularly if you're going to play Miss Marvel, because you got to decide early on, is this a Miss Marvel game or is it not a Miss Marvel game? And no, like being able to plan, like if you have Miss Marvel in hand, being able to kind of plan your turns about what cards you're going to be drawing and where you want to play your cards, that type of thing, or knowing, am I going to draw Kamala like on turn 4 and turn 5, am I going to draw Miss Marvel? Checking with Howard the Duck is really nice because those last few turns are really, really key, and it's nice to know if you're going to draw this card at all or not. Of course, there's some situations where you don't draw Howard or Miss Marvel, but I did enjoy this deck. Again, like I mentioned, it's not the strongest, not one that I particularly recommend that you play. Kind of frustrating to play because there's so many games that are just so close, but not quite there. I do kind of wish that Miss Marvel would go up in power. Let me rephrase that. I don't wish she would go up in power. I wish that she could somehow be a better card because I just really, really love the character. Anyway, this is the number 1 deck that I do not recommend that you play. It would not have helped me on my climb to infinite except for out of sheer force of just playing it a lot. And, if you have decent snapping and retreating, just playing like a climb to infinite is also just a time game. And there was a lot of time on the ladder that I spent playing this deck, which was frustrating a lot. And many, many times. Maybe an Iron Man belongs in here or something. I don't know. But that is how the climb with this deck went for me. Really fun deck. Love the character. Don't love the deck, if I'm being honest. But that will move us on to a deck that I do love, of a similar name. I love Pixie. And not as a character, I have no idea who she is. I love Pixie as a card. And this deck is just so much fun. I used this deck on a climb to infinite. It was in one of these videos before, and then I stopped playing it. Like, I used it on my climb to infinite in whatever season that I mentioned I used it on, Never played it post-Infinite. Never played it a season after that. And I saw it sitting here, and I was actually running out of deck slots. And this I Love Pixie deck was just sitting there. And it had whatever Infinity border was on it before. Maybe it was that like these borders do, right? And I just kept looking and thinking, that's an old deck. I haven't played it for a while. Should I get rid of it? And I just couldn't get myself to delete it. And then I played it, and I'm really, really glad. If you're interested in stats, played 25 games with this at a 56% win rate. However, having only won 14 games, I'm up 13 cubes, which that's also not great stats. But could have played this a lot better, if that makes sense. There was a lot of like relearning this deck as I was playing it. But there's also a lot of snappability with this deck, particularly if Mobius is not popular. You know, when you draw a 3/4 Gore or a 3/4 Iron Man with Esme, and you also have Mystique in hand, like, just plan on winning the game. You're just gonna win. It's really, really fun. It can just pop off like crazy. And there's other times where your opening hand is Gore, Iron Man, the Hood, and Pixie. And you're like, well, I'm not interested in swapping the cost of these other cards in my deck, you know. And so it misses a lot, but when it hits, this deck is a lot of fun. If you're looking for some card swaps, if you don't have Gore, you can't really play this deck, if that makes sense. Like, you could go for another 6 cost. You could go for a Spectrum, maybe. Not really. I take that back. There's not a lot of ongoing cards in here. I'm looking through this list, and it's hard to know. Like, maybe a White Tiger, because that's a good pull from Esme. A Claw, something like that. But Gore just goes crazy in this deck. Maybe an Arnim Zola, but even that would be pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know if you're missing Taskmaster is bad. You kind of need Gore for this deck to work, if I'm being honest. But if you're missing some of the other cards, like if you're missing Sage or Mobius or Esme, or even Agent Venom, you can make the deck work. Kind of the key pieces here are really kind of Pixie, Iron Man, Gore, and Mystique. Mobius, of course, helps to prevent, your Mystique from becoming a 6 cost, but overall, it's a pretty fun deck. Trying to keep these explanations short enough to keep the video short, but long enough to give you the details you need to play the deck. So, details you need to play the deck would be helpful as feedback in the comments. All right, moving on to, so that was deck number 8 and deck number 7. We're going to get to deck number 6, and then we'll do our giveaway before we get into the top 5. I have 2 season passes to give away from past videos. Shout out to everyone who watched the videos to make that happen, and also to the members for, truly allowing me to do that. But deck number 7 is a deck that I made a video about that I am thrilled to see on here. One of the decks that I have had the most fun playing in Marvel Snap, period. Like, just bananas crazy fun deck that Rez Xnapper, if you don't know him, he makes fantastic videos. His channel will be linked below. I love him. I think MJ's hilarious. But he cooked up this deck, and I love it. It is so much fun. Myra X's Moira, just fascinated by this card. I think it works so well in this deck. If you are like me and like you play against so much Dawkin Bullseye, and you look at this, you're like, Dawkin doesn't make sense. You can only discard him with his shards with MODOK. Well, don't forget that his shards can also be destroyed, and that will double him. And the cool thing is they're generated in hand, so that if those cards are 3 power now by Victorian Hand, or even more power if you have multiple Victorian Hands somehow, and they're eaten by Venom, he will gain that power. There's just kind of wild play lines that is really just a ton of fun with this deck. Had a great time with it. If you want more explanations about this one in particular, there's a video that will be included with the deck link as well. All right, now before we get into our top 5 decks, we do have a giveaway that we need to do for 2 videos. So the first one is from a video that I made that not many people watched. For those of you who did watch and comment, you are like true legends. You're people that support the channel no matter what the video topic is. But I'm thrilled in some way that the video didn't perform that well. It was a video targeted at returning players or people who would be a returning player, trying to get them to come back to the game. And this is the best time to return to Marvel Snap is the title of the video. And the giveaway was that if anyone would tell me that they were returning to the game, I would give them a season pass. Well, no one did that because the video failed. However, it does give me the opportunity to support 4Knuckle, who has been an extremely supportive person of the channel for a long, long time. They also just seem like a genuinely great person. So 4Knuckle, please comment on this video or reach out to me on Discord. You can also email me in the description. reach out to me in some way, or better yet, comment below how I should contact you. And if you're not seeing this video, don't worry, there'll be a community post to get your attention as well. But congratulations, 4Knuckle, for Season Pass. It'll be yours. It can be this season or next. You let me know. But I'm excited to give back to you because you've been supporting the channel for a long time. So now for the giveaway that people are really, really interested in. And now that I think about it, I actually need to remove 4Knuckle from the existing giveaway we have right now. This giveaway is for people who commented on the best Moon Girl deck I've ever played in Marvel Snap. I mentioned that if we could get the views to 5,000, that we would give away 3 season passes. We were close. Not really. We just got over 1,000. I appreciate all the people who supported. And again, huge shout out to every single one of my members for making this happen. If it wasn't for those people supporting the channel, I would not be able to do these giveaways. And as a final note, this is probably the last time I'll mention it because September is basically ending. But YouTube gave me an incentive that if I could reach 100 members by the end of September, they would give me a pretty large bonus that would be extremely helpful for me. But it would also allow me to give back, and I promised I would give away 20 season passes. We are not there. We would need astronomical amounts of people to sign up to get to 100 members. We're at 14 members right now. So if you want to be a hugely awesome person and help us get closer to the goal, maybe we can give away a few more season passes before the month is over. It would mean a lot to me. Also a chance to give back to the community. There's also some cool benefits you can get. So yeah, consider joining us next to the subscribe button or in the description. That's enough yapping about that. I just really appreciate the people that made it a possibility. So let's spin the wheel and decide who is going to get our season pass. Again, it could be for this current season we're in with Viv Vision, or it could be the next month's season pass from that video. Huge shout out and thank you to everyone who commented and helped the video perform. But here we go. And there we have it. Mag San, let me know. You are the winner of the season pass. Congratulations. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for commenting. And thanks for watching the videos. And for subscribing, because that was part of it. Anyway, please comment on this video how you'd like me to reach out to you. You can also reach out to me over Discord. Whatever it is, I'd love to give you your season pass that you won. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, everybody. We will probably continue to do these, so subscribe for more giveaways, hopefully coming soon. Well, that's enough yapping about that. Let's get back to the decks that you came to this video for. This is deck number 5 that helped us on our climb to infinite. This is a deck that I have mentioned many, many times, and every single time I play it, I'm reminded by how great it is, particularly the snap ability, and it is right here. It is probably my favorite bounce deck of all time. I really love bounce. I like climbing to bounce, or climbing to infinite with bounce every single season. I've made multiple videos about this deck. I love this deck. Just extremely, extremely fun to play. So, great deck. If you need card swaps for it, because there is another way that you can play this deck without Gore, without Black Swan, even without Agent Venom. He makes it a lot better. But without Black Swan or Gore, as I know those are a lot of cards, kind of more expensive cards people don't have. I go through all the card swaps in the video that will be linked right under the deck code for this, but I love this. If you're interested in stats, I had a 54% win rate with this deck, and I'm up 14 cubes overall on my climb to infinite with it. I did not play this deck a lot. My climb to infinite was also really, really rough, but did enjoy this. All right, that brings us to deck number 4. I also made a video about this, and you need to play this today and tomorrow because Killmonger is probably coming back, and so this deck probably needs Kyera. If you want to keep playing this zoo deck is what it is. Just take out Herbie. Herbie's actually really nice, but you take out Herbie or Hawkeye K Bishop and put in a Kyera. Help you protect yourself against Killmonger a little bit more. Also, Kyera has like great benefits in protecting your Mockingbird, protecting, allowing you to get into tricky locations with something like a Silver Sable or whatever. But I particularly really loved this deck. It's great to be playing Zoo. I had 2 different versions of this deck. One of them had Shauna in here instead of Herbie, and Ultron in here instead of Surge. That version of the deck, I'm at a 76% win rate. This exact version of the deck that you're looking at right now, I'm at a 71% win rate. Between the 2 of them, I am up 32 cubes. Wow, that's a lot. 32 cubes, which is great. 76% win rate, 71% win rate. Great deck. Zoo is in a really great place. I think even with Killmonger coming back, it's just a reminder. Zoo is a good deck, particularly if you're playing not against Killmonger. Killmonger can ruin your day, but that's just how things go. One single card can ruin your day. I'm interested to see how Killmonger's changed because it feels good to have Zoo be a competitive deck in the meta. All right, and then we have deck. I'm going to skip deck number 3 because it's the deck that I literally cannot believe is included in this, particularly that it's deck number 3. Like I'm shocked, like astonished. So we'll just go. These other decks I have made videos about, but I just enjoy playing them so much. This one is the Mole Man Victoria hand deck that I've talked about before. I just love it. It's just fun to play Mole Man, okay? I like putting some rocks on the board and having them go sky high because you got Moonstone, Victoria Hand, and Patriot sending them to the moon. Like, it's a lot of fun. Really, really have enjoyed this deck. This is a slightly different version than the one that I was playing when I made the video about this deck. It did not have, I think it had Sasquatch in here instead of Mockingbird. It had a different card instead of Kahori. But Zabu made so much sense in here, so I was like, well, I got to have another 4 cost. Let's put Kahori in, and she actually goes pretty well in this deck. Lots of fun. Love this deck. Really, really, really enjoyed it. But I've talked about it at length. So if you want more details about it, there's a video for it. And then the other one is the video that probably most of you has watched because that's the one that we did a Season Pass giveaway on. And it is this one who was suggested by one of the members of my Discord and also a member of the channel. Keep on trucking. Shout out to you for cooking this thing up. I've loved it. You know, the coolest part about it is seeing iterations of this deck on Discord, on Reddit, on YouTube videos, or even just in the meta. Seeing other people play something like this just thrills me. It's just such a cool feeling. I raved about this deck in the video I made about it. You probably already saw it because that's where the giveaway came from. It's just such a powerful deck, and I have not gotten sick of playing with it. It's just extremely fun. And it's great that in addition to being fun, it's also really, really competitive. I forgot to mention stats. I apologize. I'm trying to get through this quickly. On that Mole Man deck, we were, surprisingly, with the 42 games we played, we had a 61, almost 62% win rate, and we're up 34 cubes. Almost a whole cube per game is how well that deck performed. And then this deck that you're looking at, that we were looking at, the kind of the Moon Girl deck, we played 64 games. I just loved this deck. And it is also the deck that we literally hit infinite with. The game, through the 90s, we were climbing with this deck at a 62% win rate and up 44 cubes. Really, really strong climb with this deck. Just loved playing it and performed exceptionally well for me on ladder. So I've talked about those decks at length. They both have videos if you need more details. Lastly is the deck that I literally could not believe. Like, I started rationalizing with myself how the data could be wrong in some way. It was not wrong. Not only was it not wrong, there are 3 versions of this deck all in my top 10 stats for this season. This is the best one that I'm going to show you. It's number 3, right? So the best one is my 3rd performing deck on my Climb to Infinite. I cannot believe, and I really was justifying to myself how the data would be wrong, but there are 3 versions of it in my stats that it has to be right. I'm astonished. And it is a deck that I tried to make a video about and then did not, because I thought it was bad. So here's what's interesting. When the season started and Sparky came out, my first thought was, wow, Sparky's going to be really, really good with multiple man. And I don't play enough multiple man. And I think that would be a really good deck to play. And so I started experimenting, and there were a few different cards. That's why there were 3 different versions. But they all did well for me. Just experimenting. I don't know what it was. I don't know if the vibe was just off. But the reason that I ended up ditching this deck, so I originally started recording this, didn't feel like the deck was doing well enough. Switched to the deck that you did see that had like Craven, the Hydra Stomper Sparky deck, which is actually a pretty good deck and really, really fun, but did not do well for me on the climb. So I switched to that deck and made a video about that one instead. I should have stuck with this deck because the stats are just astonishingly better. I literally cannot believe it. So if I pull this up here, I want to give you all the details about this deck. As I mentioned, I have multiple versions of it. So between the 3 different versions I have of it, I have played nearly 30 games. One of the decks has a 71% win rate. One of them has also, wow, that's That is weird. They both have exactly a 71.4% win rate. And then this one that you're looking at here has an 83% win rate. Okay, here's the astonishing thing. This is what I really can't get over with. I played 12 games with this. 12. Guess how many cubes I'm up with it? 25. That is 2.08 cubes per game on average. 2 cubes a game. Are you kidding me? Just for comparison, if you don't if you're not haven't been following the stats, this deck that I literally reached infinite with, the quantity of ranks were the most with this. The most cubes, period, were with this. Had a positive 0.64, just barely above half a cube per game. This one you're looking at here, my number 3, over 2 cubes per game. Why did I not make a video about this? I cannot believe how good this deck is. I am flabbergasted that it is so good. I have not played it since, so I have no talking points about it. I don't even know how to tell you the play lines because I don't know what I was thinking. I was clearly not thinking straight that I chose to abandon this instead to make a video about a deck that I have a currently negative cube rate with in this one, right? What was I thinking? Sorry, we're all over the place. That's the wrong one. This deck shocked me that it's here, but I love that it's here because I think that it's really, really fun, and I'm sweet. I'm so glad that decks like this are here. Hitting multiple man with Penny Parker's Spider or with Sparky is kind of crazy. So I'm excited to start playing this deck again because I just can't believe how good it is. All right, so you have endured this video long enough. Let's give you one more deck and send you on your way with some final thoughts about Climb to Infinite. The last deck I mentioned in another video that I've really, really been enjoying is this one, just like a kitchen sink style deck. Really, really enjoying this. Also, why is that wrong? Just enjoying this deck. Lots of fun. I've been playing it pretty much exclusively in Deadpool's Diner. Really, really enjoying it. And I bet it could do well for you on ladder. Has a lot of snappability with late turns just being a lot of power drop in between Sasquatch and Mockingbird. Especially when you're getting good draws and your Mysterio is getting hit with Fastos and Gwenpool and Viv Vision. When Viv Vision is hitting, this deck just goes crazy. So now, as we just sit here and look at these deck slots, I wanted to talk about, lastly, just some thoughts I had on my Climb to Infinite. It was a particularly grueling and challenging Climb to Infinite this season. It felt like every single game and every single cube was hard won. As I mentioned multiple times in previous videos, I climbed up to rank 97 6 different times, and every single time I fell back down to rank 93. In fact, one time falling all the way down to rank 89 or 88 into the 80s. I don't remember exactly. It was just tough. And the tips that I can give you the most, like to be most helpful to your climb on Infinite, and I should probably make a video about these tips exclusively, but I'll just list them off specifically. Don't play tilted. Don't stay into 4 or 8 cube games if you're not certain that you're winning. Snap aggressively and retreat aggressively. One of the reasons it was so difficult for me to climb is because I was playing decks that I didn't feel confident snapping in. As an example, this Kamala Khan deck that I really enjoy playing has a lot of uncertainty if I'm going to win. Is my opponent going to shut me down with Enchantress and turn off all my power with Miss Marvel? Are they going to move one of my cards around and prevent me from playing, from getting the Miss Marvel? Like a million things could go wrong to shut down the power that this deck is trying to output. In addition to just bad card draw. This deck is pretty finicky. And so I didn't feel confident in snapping. And so there are a lot of games that I did win, but I'm winning 1, 2 cubes maybe because I just don't feel confident snapping. And then if my opponent snaps at all, I'm getting out of there because I just don't trust the deck to stand up against them saying that they're in a good situation. Compare that to something like this, where I got pretty comfortable with the deck and felt really confident snapping. When I had a good hand, even when my opponent shut me down with Mobius and my Quinjet was useless, I still felt confident snapping because I knew that I could have strong finishing turns that my opponent just was not expecting, and I felt really confident playing the deck. So it was a frustrating climb because so much of my climb was low cube rate wins. One of the things is you got to retreat to keep the cubes you earn protected, and you also have to be snapping to be able to earn cubes quickly, because the way that the current ladder climb is that everybody's sweating. Casuals are basically gone from the game in that, like, you reach the 80s or 90s, everyone's trying to reach a specific rank, whether that's dadfinite at the 90 or infinite at 100. People are sweating, and you have to take your climb seriously in that you have to understand that you're only going to climb if you're earning cubes faster than you're losing them. And you can still do that by winning 1 or 2 cube games like I was mentioning in that Miss Marvel deck. Even if you're retreating, it's going to be so much slower. Like, you're going to win 2 for every 1 you lose. Or if you start snapping, you can win 4 for every 1 you lose. You're going to win 6 for every 1 you lose. Whatever it is. Snapping aggressively when in a good position. Like a reasonable, good snaps, but aggressive snaps is really what made a difference for me on the climb. Lastly, just don't, as I mentioned, just don't play tilted. Also, don't like switch deck. Like, don't play a deck, oh, that doesn't work, let me switch to another one. Oh, that doesn't work, switch to another one. Like, stick with it, but also don't stick with a deck that's not working for you. Like, so I'll probably just make another video about that because those tips are worth mentioning. But if you want decks to help you climb, those are the 8 decks plus a bonus 9th that I feel like could help you on your climb to infinite. That I, in addition to performing well with from a statistical standpoint and helping me achieve the rank of infinite, were also just a lot of fun to play. Huge shout out to my members. You mean the world to me. I really, really appreciate you. I could not have done the giveaways that I was able to do in this very video without you supporting. And you all just mean so much to me. I appreciate every single one of you. I also appreciate every single one of you who watch these videos and subscribe. We're getting really, really close to 2,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed already, it would mean a lot to me if you'd consider doing it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the climb. Snap aggressively because you got this. You know what you're doing. Hopefully.